Hello viewers and welcome to my new video. In today's video I'm going to be talking to you about what sets apart a band with potential versus a band without potential. So I will explain what I mean by that. I actually have done a series as well. I've got a playlist actually here on my channel which is called How to Be in a Band, and some of these areas I've discussed there as well, so check it out, and I'm going to leave a link in the description and probably somewhere here on the screen as well. But today what I would like to actually talk about specifically is about when you see a band live. And I've actually been going to quite a lot of gigs over many years now, and every time I go to a gig I often notice this, that there are bands that there is something different about them, and you can sort of tell that it sets them apart from the rest. It kind of makes them stand above the rest, and there are some ingredients to that, I think, but some of those ingredients are the preparation, so the rehearsing, the actual rehearsing of the songs, and you can tell that the band is actually well prepared when they go on stage, because they are very tight when they play together, and it shows. Some of that is also about songwriting itself, because again, if you don't have good songs, no matter how good of a musician you are or musicians you are as a band, you're not going to succeed, because people are not going to be drawn to you, because there is basically nothing to be drawn to, I suppose, because your songs just aren't up to scratch, or they're just not that interesting really. There are some things that also happen in the background, and again I've mentioned about some of these things in that series that I've just described. For example, having a common vision, agreeing between each other what it is that you actually want to play, but not only that, what direction you all want to take as a band. So there's that element of commitment to the same goal. You're all heading in the same direction, you all want the same thing, because there's really no point in having a band where say one member or two members really kind of want to, make it, they want to kind of become a big recognized band, whilst the rest of the band, for example, are not interested in that at all, because they're just happy to be playing a gig at the weekend at the local pub, and that's okay with them, and that's fine. But then if you are not aligned in those ideas and viewpoints, chances are that misalignment will show, and cracks will appear sooner or later, and sometimes that actually can be seen on stage as well. Having spoken about being on stage, for me personally, the performance aspect is absolutely key, and you can actually see when you go to see a band live, and this is what I mean, that when they're tight, when you can see and hear that they've rehearsed the songs really well, the songwriting is good. But it's not only that, it's the attitude, it's the energy that they actually show on stage. When you can see that a band has actually thought about their performance side of things, not just playing their instruments, but actually how they're going to perform on stage, how they're going to engage with the audience, how they're going to transmit the energy that they want to transmit, how they're going to create an atmosphere that they want to create. All these different elements are extremely important to the live performance. For me personally, unless this is a style of music that requires being sort of static on stage, or it leads itself to it because it's kind of, I don't know, some kind of atmospheric, moody, sort of dreamy kind of music, that maybe for those types of styles it's fine for the musicians to just kind of stand in one place and kind of be sort of almost withdrawn from sort of what is going on around them, you know, and kind of in their own world and things like that. But if it's anything else, if it's anything that has sort of an amount of energy to it, then I would say I always prefer to see bands that actually have some kind of choreography on stage. So effectively they move on stage, they've actually considered each individual songs and also parts of the songs that lead themselves to certain things, that what they can actually do on stage, how they can interact with each other during those parts as a band, but also how they can interact with the audience. It can be really soul destroying when you see a band on stage, and even if the song is really good, but they actually kind of just stand there kind of in one place and look actually on the guitar or on the bass, for example, they just kind of stand there in one place and just all the kind of focus is just on the fretboard, never make any eye contact with anybody else, never move, just stand there. And there is that, but I don't know if that comes actually from lack of confidence or perhaps some stage fright at times. I kind of have a feeling that might be the case. But I've also seen something else when watching bands live, and I think that kind of is like almost like an extra layer or extra step from that, which is when they actually look like they don't care. So it's almost like you can see someone on stage and the way that they behave and the way their body language, it just doesn't sort of instill any belief in me, sort of in them, because it's almost like at the rehearsal, you know, it kind of looks a little bit like they don't actually really care that much about being on that stage, you know, and actually, I don't know, wanting to do something interesting for people and actually engage with people. It's kind of like, that's probably the worst thing from my perspective, at least, that really when you see a band like this, it's almost like you feel like they don't really want to be there, and it makes you kind of think like, well, why should I bother, you know, why should I be, for example, paying for a ticket to come and see you or watch your music or your performance if you just look disinterested basically on stage, like you don't have a belief in your own music, in your own craft, you know. It's like, you, first of all, what I expect to see from people is show me your passion about what you do, and then invite me into your world, and then maybe if that passion, because that passion can be infectious, and if you can infect me with that passion and sort of prompt me to really become so interested in what you do, then I think this is really the winner, you know. And I think that is the thing that really sets apart bands, as I say, with what I call potential, that they will actually develop a good sort of fan base, solid foundations, people will kind of like them and be drawn to them, versus a band that doesn't have that potential. And basically that definitely can be said from actually watching those two types of bands on stage and live. Thanks for watching the video. Please let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with what I've said, or whether you have any other observations on this subject, or whether you've come across something else that actually I forgot to mention. And remember to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video.